about the good old days, right? Everybody, the good old days, the good old days. Well, let's talk about the good old days. Come to think of it, as bad as we think they are, these will become the good old days for our children. But why don't we try to remember that kind of September when life was slow, so mellow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. Oh, why does it seem that the past is always better? We look back and we think the winters were warmer, the grass was greener, the skies were bluer, and the smiles were bright. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? And if we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we?
Hell yeah, I would. I'd go back in time and tell my father his son did good and made it out the hood with what I could. Your memories will always be good with me, as they should.
Like the corners of my mind, misty watercolor memories of the way we were. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we gave to one another for the way we were.
What's going on, everybody? It's Crypto Wonder, your host on the Crypto Wonder podcast. Why y'all ignoring Ethereum Power and Ethereum Fair? Like, really, why y'all ignoring the fact that Ethereum POS is OFAC compliant, where they could censor you? It's no longer resistant. It's no longer censorship resistant. They can censor you. They can keep you from utilizing whatever you like on Ethereum POS. And you're quiet. We don't know when Pulse Chain is coming out. We don't know what the implications of OFAC, right? Digging their claws into the intangible Ethereum blockchain, what the implications will cause for all the end users who use Ethereum and things of the like, right? Who trade Ethereum, who stake, who are into DeFi, smart contracts. And because Ethereum Power and Ethereum Fair are still new, people rather not speak about it and wait for what? What are you waiting for? Especially if you got free copies over there. Free copies. You still scared even though it's free? Like, I'm not trying to promote Ethereum Power, Ethereum Fair like that. Let me be clear. I'm not trying to promote those chains like that, because I understand there's risks. But Ethereum POS right now is not the wave. Like, what I mean by that is it's crappy. Ethereum POS is trash right now, in my opinion. It truly is. Those of you who think otherwise, bless your heart. Everybody has a right to think and do whatever they want with their own crypto. But it's problematic when you have an entity that is directly telling you, or has the power or authority to tell you what you can and cannot do with your money in a space that's supposed to have been decentralized, open source, open to everyone. And you mean to tell me the first blockchain to introduce smart contracts to the world that was supposed to have been decentralized? People want to talk about freedom and permissionless, etc., etc. Now, change their tune. Change their tune. The second largest blockchain in the world. And you have individuals who really believe Ethereum just because, there's this one content creator, and I tell you, man, there's new people that's always going to come into the space, folks. And I align myself, or at least I like to watch people who exercise a certain level of critical thinking when they talk about crypto, because you have to be open to learn. But at the same time, once you amass, let's say, 6 months worth of information, a year, or even 2 years, you're still no expert. But some people forget, and they believe that the 2 years worth of experience they have places them in a position to teach the world about cryptocurrency as if they are a thought leader, and they're not. And the reason why I say that is because in a recent stream I watched a guy who came into the Hex community and started creating content, but in the beginning he got hacked because he made the fatal mistake of giving away his private keys. This is public information, so it's whatever. Gave away his private keys, lost tens of thousands of dollars, and started to, create content on crypto. In the beginning, his approach was, very meek, very humble. It's like embarrassing to. So I give him credit for at least being transparent in that sense and showing his zeal to learn. But ever since, like, within let's say a year later, been creating content faithfully. Now he's saying things, his whole energy has changed, his thoughts have changed. It's like he speaks now as if he has the all the knowledge necessary and required, right, to be successful in crypto. And the reason why I question that at this point right now, because I don't dismiss the fact that he's put in a lot of effort and work into creating regular content and learning, because there's a difference with what he knows today versus what he knew a year ago. One of his recent statements was he believes in Ethereum more now since the Ethereum merge took place. He believes in Ethereum 2.0 more than anything else. And to me, that's a major flaw in your learning experience. It's a major fundamental disconnect, and I would say error. Because what Ethereum 2.0 has done by becoming compliant with OFAC is to present to the cryptocurrency space that they are no longer crypto, because crypto is not supposed to be about having third parties, intermediaries, interfering with your monetary transactions. That is not crypto, and that shows me this man's error in his thinking. Don't get me wrong, no one's perfect. No one's perfect. But when you grow in a channel and you have unsuspecting new people coming into the space, listening to you talk because you have a talent. You have a talent to blog, right? And you're growing a channel, and that's for a reason, right? Do not misuse that talent and lead people astray, right? You're leading them to really get wrecked, or at least not presenting both sides of the equation. If you could like what you like, but at this stage of the game, anyone who tells me right now that they like Ethereum now more than ever, it raises a question to me. That's somewhat of a red flag, especially if you've been in crypto, let's say at least for a while. Like, and if you understood what was going on in this space, how many times have you heard countries banning Bitcoin? Different countries around the world have attempted to ban Bitcoin on numerous occasions, and they realized they could not do it. Okay? Right? How many times have you heard these things take place? And that to me still is not as bad as how you have the number 2 blockchain in the world conceding and aligning with the powers that be that want none of us to have control over our finances, over the control of our own money. Okay? When you have entities like the World Economic Forum that Ethereum has aligned with. It's documented. They're not even speaking in clandestine measures. It's all out in the open. Articles and everything. The head of that organization, WEF, Klaus Schwab, I was going to say George Schwab. Klaus Schwab, right, is famous for the quote of, "You'll own nothing and be happy." This is one of Ethereum's handlers, right? Ethereum, that's supposed to have been decentralized, peer-to-peer, just like with the whole, tenets of, crypto, Satoshi's white paper written in 2008. Certain principles in crypto are not being held by Ethereum anymore. The stuff that we believe in is not what Ethereum is anymore, which is why I say Ethereum is not the crypto that it once was. It's no longer, Ethereum POS is no longer cryptocurrency in my opinion. It's something else. It's something else. Whenever sharding comes out, as far as, with the proof of stake operations or whatever, that's going to take time in the future. But right now, as it stands, right now, to me, and this is not about FUD, this is about reality. 40% of the blocks on Ethereum are non-OFAC compliant. You know what that means? 40%, give or take. You know what that means? It's 60% OFAC compliant. That means we lost. We lost Ethereum POS as far as it being decentralized. And out of the controls are certain entities and powers that want to tell you and I what to do with our crypto. We lost. And for people who think that just because they don't deal with Ethereum, that it has nothing to do with them because they're using other blockchains and they're part of different communities, it's like I'd invite them to understand this. Ethereum, once again, like I said, was the first blockchain to introduce smart contracts to the world. You have other iterations of blockchains, right? Other EVM protocols, other blockchains that do similar things to what Ethereum has done. Ethereum was the first, and I'm not going to say Ethereum was the first to concede and kowtow, but since Ethereum is now in the pocket of OFAC, do you not think for a second there will be other blockchains that might follow suit for whatever reason? Because these financial and legacy oligarchs and institutions and bureaucratic central banking gangsters do not want the majority of the world to be self-reliant, to be free, to be independent, to be sovereign of their own control. End of story. There's nothing more to talk about. And people do not think that this is a cataclysmic event. And they're doing it by design, and it's working very well. Meanwhile, folks become distracted, including myself. I get distracted with the short-term nonsense and drama and fake beef that happens in the crypto communities on social media, etc., etc. But you see, while all this little stuff is taking place, as far as the stupid things we concentrate on, they've already been designing and developing a strategy to siphon away our monetary power from crypto and turn it into something else that benefits them. OFAC didn't just show up on the scene, but we should have saw the handwriting on the wall when they shut down Tornado Cash. At least shut down its usage for people over in the United States. Okay? They blacklist addresses. This is just the beginning of what's to come. Okay? So I don't even know what this even means for users for Ethereum POS, as far as what's the implications of this OFAC craziness and people who sacrifice a Pulse Chain. A lot of people are saying Pulse Chain, we waiting, we need it now more than ever. And that's 100% truth. We needed Pulse Chain yesterday, in my opinion. I'm not saying we don't need it anymore. I said we absolutely do need it. But what are these regulation things? How is that going to affect folks who sacrifice Pulse Chain? Will it have an effect? Will it not have an effect? Right? At what point, make it make sense? I'm not a technical person. I'm just observing what's taking place and sharing information. Right? People who sacrificed on ETH, since ETH 2.0 is being forked, since it's no longer being forked, since Pulse Chain is no longer forking Binance Smart Chain, whatever. When Ethereum was before the merge, the plan was for Pulse Chain to fork Binance Smart Chain. Since that's not what's working anymore, they did away with the whole validator nodes, the whole whatever. Now we forking a chain that's OFAC compliant. What does that mean for Pulse Chain? Will Pulse Chain become OFAC compliant? If not, that's great, because Pulse Chain is supposed to be and represent crypto. Pulse Chain is supposed to represent freedom of speech, right? Pulse X, freedom of movement. All of these amendments and freedoms that we aspire and control, all these political things, because it's all political. All these things and these rights that we want to have as human beings and be able to exercise and move freely with our money and do what we want. And even speaking, OFAC already told us it's not going to work with Ethereum POS. They cut our speech with Ethereum POS. They cut our movement with Ethereum POS. So, going back to the content creator, this is why it's so important, people, as a viewer, be careful who you listen to, including myself. I throw myself in the mix. I consciously, and I say this all the time, I consciously try to really think before I speak and be responsible for what I say, because I know the power of the word. I understand the power of the word, right? And again, it doesn't matter how many people listen or watch, because all it takes is one for you to change their lives in a positive way or in a destructive way. Well, it wouldn't necessarily be your fault, but people can take the information and interpret it a bunch of different ways because of something that they heard from you, right? So, and now more than ever with cryptocurrency, there's just so much attention, and this is happening during the bear market, because they're gearing up. They know once the bear market subsides and we're here at a bull, they're trying to get all their ducks in a row, because they know they can't get away. They can't destroy crypto in the sense of, right? shutting it down. This is not something that could shut down, short of like some type of world cataclysmic event. Crypto's here to stay, but they're going to do everything in their power to exercise their control. It's in the name of the organization, of the entity that enforces the U.S. Treasury. It's like OFAC. What they do, they say, Office of Foreign Asset Control. What they do is try to, quote unquote, save people from, getting wrecked, so to speak, in Web3. Whatever nefarious transactions, worldly, nefarious, criminal, financial transactions that take place, they're supposed to be the watchdogs and the gatekeepers, the enforcers, to shut all of that down. That's what they're trying to lead you and I to believe, that they're doing this for our own good. Meanwhile, we know otherwise. We know otherwise. It's not for our own good. It's for their own good. They represent, people who don't have our best interests in heart. And that's the truth. That's the truth. And right now, all we have, those of us who deal with Ethereum, all we have is this piece of crap POS, because that's what it turned into. Some centralized piece of crap. Still waiting for Pulse Chain. And we have these two fork chains that everybody's scared to use and nobody really wants. Rightfully so, but still. We have the two free fork chains. I was going to say pork chain, but free forked Ethereum chains, Ethereum Power and Ethereum Fair. Everything you had before the fork, you have copies over. So you can practice and interact, and then the transactions are minuscule. Doesn't take much to do anything with your free coins over there. So I don't even know how this is going to move in the future, but these are interesting times. These are very interesting times. I'm not even going to... Look, man, Ethereum POS, I don't know what that is. Put it that way. It's not what it was before September 14th. It's not. It's something else. It's something else. I wish they didn't have to comply with any regulatory body, but here we are. What I wish and what really happens is two different things. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's like Vitalik and whatever Ethereum Alliance, or whoever supports Ethereum POS, they're not for the people. They're not for the people. They're for the central banks. They're for the government. They're for the same institutions and entities that crypto is really against. And that's crazy. So, I don't know, Mr. YouTuber who talked about liking Ethereum now more than ever because he believes there's a bunch of money behind that narrative. This is how new he is. He said that, Ethereum has a lot of money behind it. That's been the talk for 5 years. Each year after 2017, more institutions, more money has been, being poured into Ethereum. Ethereum allied with a bunch of different entities. That's been the talk for 5 years. It's because he's unaware, but folks look at them as like they're crypto masters. Literally, these guys have been in crypto less than 2 years and are being regarded as crypto masters. They stream every day. They're being regarded as crypto masters. Be careful, people. And I don't chase clout. I don't chase clout. I'm not looking for any type of foolish nonsense, beef rhetoric, no drama, none of that. But be careful who you listen to, because your pockets can be affected by it. Your intangible wallets. You mess around and make a mistake and regret it, and your future self will slap you in the face. If not, your future self, if you do something right and stick to whatever it is that you have and you utilize the information and you exercise your brain properly, you read, you study, and you internally understand what you're doing, then your future self will love you for it. That's all. Simple things, man. Don't get caught in the hype of these guys talking stuff that make no sense. Give me a good reason why you should love Ethereum more now, if you're really about crypto. Make it make sense.